I actually just got done. Hey Luke, what's up, man? Happy Friday. Hey, sorry I'm late. I actually just got done on an interview. It's actually my first interview, you guys, and the guy is a powerhouse. He does multiple six-figure, and I will be uploading it very soon, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the interview. But I'll just wait until we get a few more people on here, and then we'll go live. Or I mean, we're already live, but I'll get into the the story. All right, you guys. Before I get into it, I just want to wait a little bit more and see if we can get more people on. But how's your guys' Friday going? Drop me a comment. Jack, what up? So Jack, actually, thanks for reminding me. Let's get right in. Hey, I'm so sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Karmik. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. All right, Jack. I want to take a little moment here and talk about your deals on your deals in Seattle. Seattle right now is a really hot market, and I know that you sent me a comment, and then you negotiate with the seller. The seller and you the seller kind of came to an agreement on a price and then changed their mind. What I want you to do, Jack, is call them back, because if they talk to you and they mention a number, there is somewhat of a motivation. So what I want you to do is call them back ASAP after you're done, or even right now. I don't mind you're doing it. Hey, Jay, so I want you to call them back right now and ask them this. Is that what price will work for you? So what price would you consider selling it at today? Ask them that question. Very important, you guys. I've done many deals when seller became not interested in selling anymore, and then I ask them the question, so at what price will you sell? You guys, they have a price. Mauchu, oh my God, man. Hey, what up? Welcome. So call them back and ask them that questions, all right? Ask them that question. What you want to do is you want to pull a number out of them. Seattle is so hot right now that if you get it under 20% discount, it's still a deal. It's going to be a deal based on Malkachi, yeah. I'm sorry, buddy. So what it is that based on the number that you give me, I would call them back right away, get a number of what they would consider selling it at, and see if it's under 20%. Tied up. Lock that piece of property up under contract. You can always go back and renegotiate with the seller if needed. All right. Jin Woo, hey, how's it going? So you can always come back and renegotiate, but tie that piece of property up under contract. I know that Seattle right now is on fire. You mentioned to me is that in the range of 207,000. Obviously, depending on where the location is, but it does sound like a good deal. All right, you guys, let's get into it. If you guys drop me a comment, let me know where you guys are coming in at. It was just to call me Mal. Okay, Mal, sounds good. Sounds good, buddy. Thanks a lot. Thanks to everyone that's tuning in. Thanks a lot for taking your time and tuning in. But let's get into it right away. Here is a gosh, hope you guys can see that. Oh, you guys can't. But anyways, I will definitely post it toward the end of the video. But the check came in at $36,500. But we net 26,000. The 500 is the earnest money, but we net 26,000 on it because we paid 10,000 for the realtor that brought us the. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we pay him 10,000 that he brought us the buyer. So I'm gonna tell you guys about this deal. Really quick. So this deal here, at this time I was doing a lot of white letters. And for those of you who not sure what I'm saying about white letter, is that I just go on list source, pull all of the, this one was actually out-of-state owner. So I pull out all the out-of-state owner, vacant, obviously high equity, all of that. Then I would do is I sit from 9 to 12 o'clock, from 9 p.m. to midnight, and I would handwrite every single envelope, and I would just print out their address. And on there, I just say, hey, my name is Khang. I would like to buy your house. I can pay cash, close quickly. Please give me a call. And that's what I did. And I sent it out, and I did a lot of them. I try to write 100 letter every single night. All right, you guys. So this deal here come off of white letter. So the seller's actually from California. out of state's owner. He hasn't it was their rental, hasn't rented for a while now. And when he initially called me and we chat and we discuss, he kind of was interested but wasn't ready. Okay, so we kind of discussed pricing a little bit back and forth. We haven't come to an agreement, but we got very close on a price. I think we're about 10 to 15,000 apart. All right. So after that, he said, "Yeah, Khang, let me think about it." Right. And I said, "Well, what is it that keep us from doing this deal? Is it me? Is it the process? Is it the price?" And he said, "Khang, I'm not really ready yet. So would you touch base with me?" And obviously, I was trying to dig in a little bit and saying, obviously, what is it that you're not ready about? Is it, so I was trying to get more things. And he said, "Khang, it's just personal. It's just personal things. So why don't you touch base with me in a couple of months?" So that phone call went on for about 15 minutes. And the next 30 days, I follow up with him and say, "Hey, how is it going? Are you ready to chat?" He said, "No, Khang, still not ready. Why don't you touch base?" So anyway, after 3 to 4 months of touching base with him, back and forth, after 4 months or so, he decided. He said, "Yeah, Khang, you know what? I'm ready to sell now, because of his job and also to his wife." So he kind of get into a little finance, and also to he was tired of being a landlord. That was the key. It was long distance for him, and he was tired of being a landlord. And also too is his son is local, right? His son is from here, but his son also doesn't want to manage the property anymore, and he doesn't want to do all the maintenance on it. He doesn't want to cut the grass or any maintenance on the property anymore, because he wants to now start doing his own thing. And the seller was his parent. So the seller is the parent, and the parent was relying on the son to do all of the work that is needed to be done at the property. If there's a turnover, if they have to re-rent it, they relied on their son to get it done, and their son just went out. All right, so he was ready to sell. Chat with him on the phone, and then But let me see if I can pull up to see what price I got it under contract, because this was a very long time ago. So let me see here. Let me see if I still. Okay, so here it is. Let me see if I was able to pull up a purchase and sale agreement to know exactly how much I got on the contract for. And obviously, I don't want to bore you guys out, but let me know. Let me see here. I should have got all this ready, so I apologize, you guys. But purchase and sell. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, I got it here. Okay, so we got this property under contract for Yep, we got it under contract for $224,000. Now this one here is it's a duplex, and they are bringing in, I think they're bringing in about 21 or 2,200 bucks in rent. And and then once we got it tied up, we sent it out to, and I'll tell you guys how long we got it for. So once we got it all tied up, we sent it out to our buyer, and I think it took me about almost 2 weeks to find a buyer for this. And the reason why is because the number didn't work out for my fix and flipper, right? For the buyers that wants to come in and fix this property up and resell it. I guess the margin wasn't there for them at this time. The real estate market wasn't as good as it is now. So a lot of them that does the fix and flip are very cautious about, the profit and all the profit, and also too is that they want to make sure there's enough room in there. So if there is a mistake or anything like that, that they won't get hurt. All right. So it took me a while to find a buyer. It took about 2 weeks or so. Anyways, I got this deal here closed from one of the agents. So I start sending out to all the agents as well. And one of them said, hey, Khang, I just recently connect with a buyer that might be interested in this deal. I said, great. Why don't you have him do a drive-by? Drive-by first, make sure they like the property, and if they want to go ahead and do the walkthrough inspections, please let me know. But I do want you to know that it is a one-time walkthrough / inspection. So tell your buyer that. And that's pretty much what he did. He told his buyer, and then also too is actually on this deal here. When we decided to market out to our buyer, we actually only charged about 26,000, and then he tagged, and then the agent said, hey, Khang, is it okay for me to tag on top of your fee 10,000, right? And I say, yeah, do it, because I thought he was going to ask me to pay him, but instead of asking me to pay him, he decided to tack on his fee because I told him that, hey, we have a lot of party that is very interested in this deal. Obviously, we always tell them that, okay? We always tell them that no matter what. No matter if you have no buyer or one buyer, you always tell that buyer that's asked you that you have a lot of buyers that's interested in this deal. So he said, hey, Khang, you know what? My buyer did a drive-by. He loves it. He wants to do that walkthrough and that inspection. And if we end up doing a deal together, I already told him that I'm going to tag on top is $10,000, so you don't have to worry about paying me. I said, dude, that's great. Let's do it. And so this is after 2 weeks. He calls, and it actually took us about a week and a half to 2 weeks to set up that walkthrough and inspections because the parent was having a hard time connecting with their son, and also is connecting with the renter, trying to be able to set up the walkthrough. But we're able to get it done. He said we set up the walkthrough. I said, hey, make sure that he's ready, your buyer's ready to bring his contractor, his inspector, whoever it is. But he goes in, and it's not going to go, we're not going to be able to get him back in again. And so we make sure we let him know all of that. And we let him know all that up front, so that way the buyer is ready. And we also want to make sure that, hey, this is an all-cash deal, quick closing. And we actually tie this property up. I tied this property up under contract for about 60 days. All right, you guys. So that gives me about 2 months to wholesale this deal. So, and typically I don't wait all the way until my date with the seller. When the buyer is ready, I always want to make sure that we can come in and close within the next 7 to 10 days. So anyways, the buyer did their walkthrough. They like it. They came back and said, hey, Khang, I'm ready to go, right? So this one is pretty nice and clean. He said, hey, I'm ready to go. How much of a deposit do you want? And I said, hey, on this deal here, I actually asked them to make I actually asked them to go ahead and put in the whole assignment non-refundable. So I said, hey, $36,000 is what you have to deposit non-refundable if you're ready to go. The buyer didn't have a problem with it. Also too is before I tell them to deposit this amount, I actually, hey Nimi, I actually told them to, I actually told the agents to ask their buyer, and I did say, hey, do your buyer have problem with paying an assignment fee? Because at this time, you guys, I didn't know how to set up or I didn't want to do a double closing, right? I didn't want to do a double closing on this deal, even though the margin, but because of the amount and because of minusing the double closing cost, I just know that, my fee is going to be really, really small. So I didn't want to do that. So I asked him first, is your buyer's going to have an issue? He said, no, Khang, this guy buy multiple property. He doesn't have an issue with paying assignment fee. I worked with him before, kind of deal on a couple other, and he's really cool about it. I said, great. So we sent out the agreement, and he's happy with it. I said $36,000 non-refundable, deposit the next day. This buyer done. And then after this buyer deposited, he said, hey, Khang, you know what? We already deposited. Can I get my contractor to go out there and do a walkthrough on the property, and to kind of start getting some of the repair checklist, right? Repair checklist going. And I said no. you guys, you don't want to back in, like I'm sharing with you guys on every other my story. You don't want your buyers to go back in there for any reason until it closes. All right, because I have issue before where I did, and I don't want to make that mistake again. So I told him, no, dude. I said he went in there, he did everything he can, and that's what we agreed upon. And now we're just gonna wait until close. I said, you don't want to lose your 10,000. I don't want to, I just don't want any issue to come up. So tell your buyer that, hey, it's done already. The seller always, when you go back, just blame it on the seller. The seller doesn't want, I already told the seller that we're done. We're not going back out there again. We're not going to bother his renter. We're just ready to move forward. So go back and say, hey, the seller say no. The seller won't agree with it. So instead of making you look like a bad guy, just blame it on the seller. Just blame it on the seller, right? Blame it on the seller. Say, hey, nope, I asked the seller and the seller say no. He doesn't want us to go back in there. We said we're ready to move forward. And that's what we did. From start to finish, this one took from the day with all the scheduling. If it wasn't for all the scheduling with the renter trying to get him in there, we probably would be able to close this within like 20 days. But instead, this closing took us roughly from start to finish, maybe 30 days or so. But the initial time that we got the property locked in with the buyer, it was a 5-day closing. It was a 5-day closing. After that, the buyer got the money, he got the funds, he can come in, close with cash, and it was done deal. So anyways, you guys, that's it for this deal. Hopefully that helps you guys out. But this deal here, I got the buyer from an agent. An agent brought me the buyer. And you guys, most of my deals that I'm doing, even currently right now, a lot of them are coming from agents that has buyer in the back of their pocket ready to buy, all right? So that's why I'm telling you guys that reach out to all the local realtor in that area, whatever area you're trying to dominate or trying to wholesale in, trying to pick up the phone and call all these realtors. Obviously, the phone call is going to go different between you and that realtor that you're looking for a cash buyer than a phone call between you and that realtor that you're looking for the motivated seller, right? And I would try to upload some of those cold call, hopefully this weekend. I'll try to get some in this weekend since it's Christmas, but I'll still try to do it just for you guys. So anyways, you guys, if you guys have any questions, the wife's actually having a meeting, so she's trying to tell me to wrap it up. So do you suggest getting VAs if you're not, sorry, your question went by so quickly. For us, I'm not exactly sure what your question is. It went by so quickly. But we do have a VA currently right now. We have about question. Do you suggest getting VA if you have no money up front to pay? VAs, like you mean like money to pay for the VAs? If you don't have money to hire VA, you guys, like the link that I'm gonna give you to hire these VA, they're from Philippines. Gotcha. Well, yeah, you know what? When you don't have the funds to hire people, don't hire people. Spend that money in marketing, right? So when you don't have the funds, you guys, it's gonna be hard, right? Because you're gonna do everything yourself. You're gonna market. You're gonna do all the marketing yourself. You're gonna pull all the lists yourself. You're gonna drive for dollars. You're gonna do everything yourself until you build up. But will they work for free until you close the deal? Let me get to that. And then once you build up your cash, then use your cash to leverage and to hire people to start doing the work that are, like picking up the calls, incoming calls, maybe pulling these lists for you, and things like that. So start outsourcing things that maybe that you feel like it's easy, that you feel like that you can train someone to do it, all right? But first you got to build up that cash. Sumar, hi, how's it going? How do you maximize conversation between you and the buyer and the seller? Oh my God. Okay, Luke. Oh, well, you work for free or for someone else. So basically what it is that VA, obviously if you're going to hire a VA, they're not going to work for free. But they're from Philippines. You can go on Upwork and actually hire them yourself. And they're from Philippines, so they're going to be, $4 to $5. You can get them for like $2, $3, right? They're cheap. And you guys, don't be mistaken about Philippines people. These guys speaks good English. Some of them speaks better English than I do. So don't be mistaken that they're from Philippines or from another states from another country that they don't speak good English. You just have to go through and make sure that you can find the one that speaks good English to do the work for you, okay? But I want to let you know that there are VAs in the Philippines or wherever, and they do speak good English. Do you have the VA? Yes, I can drop a link for the VA company that we use, but we actually pay them $9 an hour. We pay them $9 an hour. This company, so you tell them what you want, and they will search for the VA for you. So you can type in there, hey, I want a VA that have calls experience. And you guys, these VAs have degree. They do spreadsheets for us where I don't even know how to do spreadsheets. They do spreadsheets, they do charts, they do whatever you want them to do. All right, they have degree in areas where they can do stuff for you. So I'll drop a link where you guys can hire these VA. So we use this company and they charge us $9 an hour. But they hire these VA for you. You just tell them what kind of VA you're looking to hire. How much do you pay them weekly base? Well, it's $9 an hour, and they're on full time, 8 hours. The wife just snuck in. I know she just snuck in. She's getting ready to do her training. So, anyways, guys, if you guys have any more questions, when will your wife market explain? I don't know when she will explain that marketing thing for you guys, but I'll definitely ask her to try to get her on and see if she can show you. But it's